get one red color button, sir. Stop sharing.
Yes, madam, I clicked on that. It is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I can share the screen, sir.
Okay, please, madam. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, sir. No problem. You try now. If it is not working, I will share.
Yeah. It's not moving, madam.
Not moving, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share the screen, sir.
Please, yeah. So I have to stop share.
You are able to see my screen, sir?
Now it's it. I'm able to see it.
Just a minute, sir. I'll put it in a slideshow mode.
Yeah.
For me also it is not moving, sir.
Is it moving?
No, it's not moving for you. It's
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
It's working. Just wait, sir. Just wait. Yeah, it is working. You please start, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So next slide, madam. Yes, this is our group companies. Next slide, madam. Yes. So before we go into the processing industry setup, we must know about the tomato. Tomato, that is, its botanical name is Lycophyllum esculentatus, belongs to the family Solanaceae. Tomato is one of the most popular and widely grown vegetable crop in the world. India is the fourth largest producer of tomato, next to China, USA, and Turkey, with an estimated production of 11.98 million tons in 2010. Of course, this is old data. We have to get the new data. Tomato is short duration vegetable crop which fits suitably among different cropping system. Tomato is very versatile vegetable for culinary purpose. Ripe tomato fruit is consumed fresh as salads and utilized in the preparation of many processed products such as puree, paste, powder, ketchup, sauce, and soup. The partially ripe fruits are processed into pickle, chutney, and in the recipe of number of traditional cuisines. The wastes obtained after the juice or pulp extraction, seeds and pomace is also utilized for the extraction of tomato seed oil and lycopene respectively. So whatever you are processing from the tomato, the waste can also be processed for some value added products to get more additional revenues. Next slide, madam. The nutritive value of tomato also to be considered before we go for processing the tomato. They contribute to a healthy, well-balanced diet. Of course, the tomato's total sugar content is 2.5% in ripe fruit, and ascorbic acid varies from 16 to 65 milligram per 100 gram of fruit of weight. Total amino acid is 100 to 350 milligram per 100 gram of fruit weight. They may rich in minerals, vitamins, essential amino acids, sugars, and dietary fibers. Tomato contains much vitamin B and C, iron, and phosphorus. The ripe tomatoes are red in color because they contain lycopene and other natural antioxidants, which are carotenoids, anthocyanins, ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, vitamin E, and phenolics, flavonoids. Antioxidants have anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic, and anti-thrombotic properties and beneficial in lowering the incidence of cardiovascular problem, cancer, and neurological pathologies. So this is the nutritional value of the tomato. Next slide, madam. So importance of tomato processing. Why do we need to process the tomato? Since the tomato is perishable item, the processing enhances the shelf life of the products. That's point number one. It's a versatile crop used as a fresh vegetable and for various processed products like juice, ketchup, sauce, canned purees, and paste. Consumption of processed tomato began a steady climb that accelerated in the late 1980s with the rising popularity of pizza, pasta, and salsa, and various other food items, ready-made food items, or the fast food items. So that is the reason the tomato needs to be processed so that the shelf life can be enhanced, and the we can use it in various food preparations. Any individual can start a tomato processing business from home or in a small scale industry. The business is easy to start. One can deal with single or multiple value added items productions. Next slide, madam. So again, why do we want to process tomato? In advanced countries, around 80% of fresh tomatoes are processed, while the growth of tomato processing industry is slower in India due to supply challenges. Tomato sauce and ketchup are popular products manufactured on a large scale in India, mostly in small units. Scope for setting up large-scale processing units exists due to the availability of tomatoes throughout the year. Since the tomatoes are available throughout the year and its cultivation is easy and it is a short-term crop, setting up a tomato processing industry is easy. So anybody can go for the go to set up the tomato processing industry. Next slide, madam. Before we go deep into the setting up processes, I would like to just emphasize this Indian tomato processing market size reached to $1,233.3 million in 2022. Experts say the market to reach $1,931.2 million by 2028, exhibiting a growth rate of 6.06 during 2023 to 2028. So the scope for tomato products, processed tomato products, is very huge. Hence, it is better to enter into a tomato processing industry. Next slide, madam. Is tomato processing business really profitable? That is a question mark. See, basically, tomato processing include different types of value-added products manufactured, and these are tomato juice, puree, sauce, ketchup, and tomato pulp. Basically, tomato juice and pulp have industrial use along with domestic consumption. Due to increasing standard of living in the cities and the rapid urbanization in rural areas, the demand for ready-to-eat items is also growing. Additionally, the changing food habits, including the growing fast food industry, have created a boost in the demand for processed tomato items. Another aspect in modern packaging technology, basically the multi-layered flexible plastic packing, Tetra Pak, and brick packing have a tremendous impact on the growth of the processed tomato market. This type of packing allows the distribution of tomato products to wide distance and remote areas. In addition, it allows storing the product at room temperature for a period of more than 4 months. So the demand for tomato derivatives and tomato-based product is high due to the fast food industry, and the new technological development in the packing industries like flexible packing, Tetra Pak, and other packing systems have enhanced the shelf life of the tomato-based products, and it is easy to distribute to various distance area. So the tomato processing industry is really flourishing, and hence it is really a profitable business. Next slide, madam. So these are some basic tomato products: tomato paste and puree, tomato ketchup, tomato sauce and chutney, tomato juice. These are all the 4 basic items. There are still other items are also available, like tomato powder, dried tomatoes, which implies very simple processes, which we'll deal in the forthcoming slides. Next slide, madam. So this is a tomato processing business plan. While starting a business, one must have a business plan in hand. Basically, preparing a business plan starts with market research. One has to do a market research. What is the business you are going to do? When you plan to set up a tomato processing industry, you must do a business plan and a market research of what is the product is hitting in the market, which product is sold in the market in a faster pace, and the availability of raw material. Most of the things needs to be considered before you prepare a basic business plan. According to the proposed location, it is important to have some clear ideas about the demand for specific item, which product is having demand in the market. Like if some areas will have a demand for puree, some areas will have demand for the juices. So that way, accordingly, the demand has to be identified. Based on that, the production, which product needs to be produced, to be decided by the manufacturer or a businessman who is planning to set up the plant. Additionally, try to identify the established companies in this segment and their products. We need to look into the companies which are already into the similar kind of business and their marketing strategies and the kind of products they manufacture, what is the price and what is the competitiveness, what is the other advantages of those products. That needs to be considered. Based on that also, you can derive your business plan. If someone is starting with a small startup capital, it is advisable to start with a single product manufacturing operation. So if your investment is less and your capital is very less, it is better to go with a single product. And once the market is established, using your own brand name, additional products can be added at a later stage. So while going for the tomato processing industry, the 5 main categories are to be followed. That is, one is the registration and licensing. Second one is tomato processing plant and machinery. Third is the raw material. Fourth is the processing, tomato processing. There are 4 different products processing are the major items, and promotion and marketing. These 5 aspects are to be considered while going for a tomato processing business. Next slide, madam. So before we go to the next slide, there are 3 main categories to be considered. One is raw material. The tomato processing industry needs mainly tomatoes, then water. There are spices needs to be added, vinegar, cane or beet sugar, glucose. These are all the raw materials. One must have thorough knowledge on the availability, season, and price, the quantity, quality, everything of this raw material needs to be identified. Second is the machinery. There are 4 or 5 key machineries available for the tomato processing industry. That is tomato pulping, space grinding, bottle washing, crown corking, exhaust and processing machine, boiler. These are all the key equipments. In addition to that, there are various other equipments are being recorded for the processing, but these are all the main machineries. Then third is the manpower. Then manpower, we need to have skilled worker and unskilled worker. And these manpower, whether the skilled worker or unskilled worker, must have thorough knowledge on the machinery usage and the equipment handling, safety and precaution measures, and business model and growth. Based on the business model, the manpower should have knowledge on the how to grow the business. All those things the manpower should be updated with. Next slide, madam. Now, it is a first step in setting up a tomato processing industry is the registration and licensing. First, if you are new to the industry, you have to register your firm or a ROC as per the management liability and mode of operation. This can be a partnership firm or a proprietorship firm or private limited or public limited as per the capital investment and mode of operation the promoter likes to have. So that is the first step. Second thing is the obtain trade license from the local authority. Since the tomato processing industry is a trading business, though it is a manufacturing, trading is the ultimate thing. So one must get the trade license from the local authority as per the local norms and conditions. Then current account for the transactions. Then Udyogadar, as per MSME registration, it is to be registered with the MSME. The next step is obtain FSSAI license, because this being a food product, this comes under FSSAI. So FSSAI license has to be obtained. The FSSAI license may vary from product to product. For tomato sauce, one license, one category, tomato puree. So that way, depend upon the number of products you are manufacturing, the license has to be obtained accordingly. And then GST registration, that is as usual, that is a mandatory thing. Then the product has to be obtained BIS certification. The agency offers different standardization for different tomato process products, such as tomato juice comes under IS 3881 1996, ketchup comes under 3882 1966, and puree comes under 3883 1966. So BIS certification based on the product you are planning to manufacture, this is to be obtained. This type of unit does not attract pollution to the environment. However, material waste like skins, skids, etc., is the main effluent from which the provision of treatment is there. It is recommended to have NOC or a consent from the pollution control department of as per the local authorities. Then if the industry is really huge, since we will be using a boiler for heating and evaporation, there must be a boiler directorate and boiler recommendation has to be obtained. Though there are capacities, if the boiler capacity is more than 2 tons, then one must get the pollution control board approval. This comes under orange category. If it is the boiler comes under green category, there is no need for the pollution control. Then as usual, it is better to have a HACCP and ISO 9000 certification to sell the products in the international market. Next slide, madam. Madam, previous, the tomato processing plant and machinery for manufacturing. Madam, previous slide.
This is correct, sir.
Yeah, this is right. For manufacturing operations, one must secure location. The location is important. We must select a suitable location with a level land and everything, with availability of water, electricity, and most of all the utilities has to be secured. However, the requirement for the area depend on several aspects. These are the production line, production capacity, and number of finished products. So, if you want to go for a bigger production line and bigger production capacity and too many number of products, then the area requirement will be higher. If it is less products, then area requirement will be less, obviously. Then one must have to talk to a machinery supplier or a consultant, food processing consultant, who can give you the full line of production machineries. And one must have a machinery for plan from the machinery supplier or a food processing consultant. In addition, check the availability of utilities like electricity, water, skilled manpower for the factory operation. Basically, the machinery requirement depends on the specific product you want to produce. Next slide, madam. So basically, these are all the basic equipments like steam boiler, washing machine, because the tomato has to be washed. Then there are different types of washing machine. It is manual washing, semi-automatic, completely automated washing with all the, what is that, elevators, bucket elevators, all those things are available. Then mostly washing machine will have rotary rod, washer equipped with spray arrangements, collection tank, etc. Then yes, a tilting type steel jacketed kettle with cap. Yes, a tilting type jacketed with vacuum kettle, pulper cap, exhaust and processing tank, pasteurizer tank, bottle washing machine, vacuum filling machine, water storage tank, miscellaneous equipment such as buckets, cutting and peeling knives, etc. There are additional equipments. These forms the main equipment. In addition to, there are some accessory ancillary equipments are also required. Next slide, madam. Then third in this tomato processing industry is the raw material. As I told you, the raw materials are full grown tomato. We must give a consideration or due consideration or importance has to be given to the raw material, because this is the main raw material. Full grown tomato has to be selected, and we must make arrangements for the regular availability of the raw tomato at your factory. Then quality of tomato products is determined by the redness of tomato, which indicates the presence of lycopene, a beneficial pigment. So very good red tomatoes needs to be selected and needs to be procured. High quality tomato products are achieved by using plant ripened uniformly red tomatoes, avoiding prolonged heating and using non-reactive equipment. If one can buy a plant ripened and uniformly red colored tomatoes, we don't need to, during the processing, we don't need to heat it a prolonged period, and we don't need to use a non-reactive equipment. Hence, one can get a high quality tomato product. You can have a contract with the tomato growers also. Additionally, you will need to arrange sugar, preservatives, salt, spices for different types of products. So that for this, you have to have a good stock, good quality material, and quality control aspects needs to be followed while using these additional additives and preservatives. Next slide, madam. Here comes the important thing. So first you need to register. Licensing and registration has to be completed. Then area has to be decided. Third is the tomato processing equipments and raw material. Now the tomato processing. So I will go through a different product processing, and there will be some flow charts. While explaining the flow charts, I will explain you what are the additional equipments in addition to the equipments which I explained in the previous slides. So first of all, you have to procure fully ripe, well-developed color tomatoes for making juice. Then wash the tomatoes. Washing. Here, the washing machine used. After trimming and steaming, crush them in a crusher or cut them into pieces with knives. Then heat the crushed piece into a steam jacketed kettle till they become soft. Finally, pass the heated tomatoes through the pulping machine using a fine sieve to separate the juice from the seeds and the skin. Keep heating to 85 to 90 degrees C and add the sugar and salt at 1%. Finally, fill the hard juice in bottles, seal them immediately and sterilize them in boiling water for about 30 minutes and cool them. This is a regular product. See, whatever the product you are going to manufacture, the first step is the tomato juice processing. So tomato juice processing is the first step of any tomato product. Here is the flow chart. First, washing and sorting. The washing can be an automatic washer or a manual washer. Then in the sorting table, people will sort the good one, red one, and unripe. All those things are being sorted. Then they select the right tomato, the cutting into a quarters, discarding, and the other rotten inside. Then cooking over a medium heat, stirring occasionally. This can be done in a what is that, kettle with a steam jacket under medium heat, and there will be a stirring done. Then addition of 2 tablespoons of lemon juice for every 1 kg of tomato. This is to loosen loosen the skins of the tomato. Then addition of salt and pepper to the taste. Then removing from the heat and allow them to cool slightly. This is a pasteurization process. Basically, you will be using a pasteurizer here. Then extracting the juice by passing the sauce through a pulper. Then there will be a pulping machine wherein the juice from the sauce is separated. Then filling the hard sauce in clean sterile glass jars, placing the jars in water bath, and this is again the next step of pasteurization, cooling, and storage in cool dry place away from light. This is the normal process to produce tomato juice. Then when you go for the other products like tomato puri or tomato concentrates, you will take a diversion from the extraction and pulping phase, wherein you separate out the juice that will be taken for the further processes. Next slide, madam. Next slide. Yes. So this is for the paste and pulp processing. To prepare tomato paste and pulp, the juice which is been produced in the previous stage is further concentrated under a vacuum to around 9% to 12% solids. Here, a tomato paste or a pulp we should have 9% to 12% solids. So the tomato juice is concentrated using a vacuum oven or vacuum distillation setup, so that the solids content is achieved. Also, you can prepare tomato powder using different technology depending on the end use of the product. From this tomato juice, after the concentration, if that is being passed through a spray drying system, then one can produce tomato powder. So that is the end product. So production of tomato juice is the first step in the tomato processing industry. From this tomato juice, the tomato paste can be produced. The tomato processing technology can be obtained from any reputed government research institute. There are Indian Institute of Food Technology, and there are other institutes also available. All of them provide a good technologies, proven technology for these tomato processing industries. Next slide, madam. Then ketchup. Basically, the percentage of soluble solids in the ketchup varies from state to state. Every state, for example, Karnataka will have one kind of one norm, and Tamil Nadu will have another norm. The ketchup, the soluble solids in the ketchup must be adhered to the state norms. Therefore, you must check the local norms and the regulation. The juice obtained from the stage first step 1 is to be concentrated and add spice, salt, sugar, etc. The spice like cloves, cardamom, pepper, cinnamon, and other ingredients are tied loosely in a muslin cloth and placed in the boiling juice in a steam jacketed kettle. The sugar, salt, vinegar, or acetic acid, etc. are added at a later stage. This is for the tomato ketchup. Next slide, madam. Yes, as usual, if you are only producing the tomato ketchup, again we start from the washing, sorting, cutting, chopping. But here, what we are doing is for producing ketchup, we need to blanch the tomatoes at 90 degrees for 3 to 5 minutes, then pulping and straining, then straining tomato to produce pulp and juice, then cooking pulp with 1/3 quantity of sugar, then putting spice bags, cooking to 1/3 of original volume of pulp and juice, removal of spice bag, cooking and judging of the end point, addition of vinegar, acetic acid, salt, and other preservatives, filling hot into the bottles, that is pasteurization. And next to that, again pasteurization for 30 minutes, then cooling and storage at ambient temperatures. Here, what are the equipments needed is washing and sorting, as usual, washing machine, sorting table, trimming machines, cutting, chopping machines. There are automatic cutters, choppers available. Then blanching machines with all jackets, with steam jackets with agitation and mixing. Then there are pulpers with along with the strainers. Then cookers, bags, filters, then mixers, that is to add vinegar, acetic acid, and other preservatives. Then pasteurizers. These are the additional equipments required in the tomato ketchup processing. Next slide, madam. Tomato puree processing. So tomato puree is not very different from the ketchup, but first of all, obtain a juice by the previous method, then concentrate to under vacuum to about 9 to 12% total solids, so as to get tomato puree. So when a tomato juice contains higher solids between 9 to 12%, it is called a puree. So finally, fill the product in bottles, seal the bottles with a crown cork, and process in boiling water for 30 minutes and cool. This is a simple process, but the detailed process is next slide, madam. Here again, washing, sorting, blanching, pulping, cooking to decide consistency using a double jacketed steam kettle or vacuum pan. Then judging the end point. This is important. TSS, total soluble solids, for puree 12 to 15%, paste 25%, tomato solids by hand refractometer or volume by measuring stick. So this can be easily identified by the hand refractometer, the total suspended solids. Then filling them hot into bottles or cans, then sterilization in boiling water for 20 minutes, cooling and storage at ambient temperature in cool and dry places. Otherwise, you need to keep it in the refrigerated condition. This is for the puree and puree or paste. Next slide, ma'am. This is for the sauce. For preparing the sauce, you will need to concentrate the juice under a vacuum, and controlled temperature. In addition, you have to add salt, sugar, vinegar, spice, onion, etc. as per the requirement. And then boil the mixture under vacuum till it contains a maximum of 12% tomato solids and 28% total solids. Then pass the sauce through a sieve to remove fibers and other materials. Finally, cool the material and add the preservative prior to sending it for the packing. This is a basic simple process. What you have to do is you are producing the sauce, and you need to concentrate the juice under the vacuum condition. Then add the preservatives, increase its solid content to 12%, and so total solids must be 28%. Then only it become sauce. Then cool it, pack it. This is a basic process. Next slide, madam. This is a detailed process. How are you going to process tomato sauce? That is washing, sorting, blanching for 2 minutes, placing quickly in cold water, peeling and crushing, cooking pulp with 1/3 quantity of sugar, putting spice bags, cooking to 1/3, then removal of spice bag, addition remaining of salt, cooking and judging, addition of vinegar, acetic acid, and preservative, filling hot to water bottle, pasteurization, cooling and storage at ambient temperature. This is for the tomato sauce production. Next slide, madam. So those are all the main products in the market. Then apart from that, we have tomato chutney, which anybody can do very easily. Blanching, cold water peeling, addition of ingredients, addition of preservatives, salt and sugar, filling hot bottle, sealing. This is the very simple process. This can be produced even as a cottage industry. Next slide, ma'am. Yes. Here comes low temperature start contact distillation part. See, what is this for? See, normally when you produce the tomato juice, that juice is to be concentrated to produce higher solids content. The juice must have solids content more than 9% or 12%, and ultimately when it is become sauce, it has to be 28%. Hence, the water available during the processing, that is to be evaporated using a low temperature method. When you use low temperature method, the tomato color will not be changed, because the red color is the key and critical to any tomato based product. So color won't be changed, and the nutrient content also won't be damaged. All the thermolabile compounds are preserved inherently. Hence, a low temperature vacuum drying method is adopted. So this is a 2-stage and a 3-stage method, wherein a big industry, so the industries which is producing more than 20 tons of tomato in a day, can use this kind of evaporation system. Otherwise, there are simpler evaporation systems with a kettle and pan agitation and vacuum application. By that also it can be concentrated. The concentrated means the water can be removed, so that anybody can produce any type of product from the tomato juice. Next slide, madam. Okay, we are having little idea about what are the products can be produced, what are the processes involved, but there are considerations while processing tomatoes to produce a good quality product. That is, use only plant ripened red tomatoes to avoid color masking and browning due to oxidation. Avoid iron equipments, as lycopene reacts with iron, leading to brown compounds. So the processing industry must have the equipments manufactured out of stainless steel 316 and other pharma or food grade equipments. Cool the product quickly after preparation of tomato based processed product like ketchup, sauce, chutney and soups. Don't keep the product for a longer time in hot condition. Cool them immediately so that the color of the any processed food, any tomato based product is maintained. Then proper cleaning of tomatoes is essential to remove mold, filaments and microorganisms from cracks and cavities. Pasteurization helps prevent fermentation filled tomato products. Prevention of black neck formation in tomato ketchup and sauce products is crucial for maintaining quality. So need to be sterilized, or you need to use good quality caps with all food grade items, and processing conditions should be suitable so that the black neck in the bottles are avoided. Filling hot sauce at a temperature not less than 85% is always advisable. Minimize headspace in bottles to reduce air exposure and blackening. Reduce contamination with iron by using non-metallic equipment and lower iron content in additives. Additives also, the handling equipment for the additives also must be stainless steel, so that now the corrosion or the contamination of iron will be prevented. Next slide. So we must have a tomato processing quality control. The compliance with the Fruit Products Order FPO of 1955 is mandatory for tomato processing. It should conform to the FPO. The FPO's basic specification is tomato juice must have 5% solid, tomato puree must have 9% solids, and sodium benzoate, that is a preservative, 250 ppm. Ketchup should have 25% total solid, acidity is 1%, sodium benzoate as a preservative must be 750 ppm. This is the standard set forth by the FPO. Apart from these things, there are other parameters, microbial parameters, then water content, the additional things are available that also should be followed. Next slide, madam. Then you have produced the products with various different products have been provided. Previous slide, madam. Yes. So you must promote and market it. So promotion and marketing are must to go overall success in this business. Additionally, you must pay attention to the packing. First of all, try to hit the local consumer, and a well-penetrated distribution channel is the best option to capture the local retail market. Additionally, supermarkets and malls are great places to promote your product. If you are starting tomato processing on a large scale, you can consider exporting also. So there are nowadays the products can be sold in supermarkets, malls, and even the online sales of different products are also available. So the promotion and marketing is not that difficult, provided you are supplying a good quality niche product. Next slide, madam. Yes, this is how basically a tomato processing industry look, very general. So this is, you can consider this as a floor plan. You have a washer, then inspection conveyor. Then after that, this is been there is a elevator. The elevator takes the tomatoes to a fruit mill, wherein the tomatoes are crushed. Then there will be a hot break tank. Then there will be heat exchanger to heat it. Then that goes to the pulper. Then pulper tank that will be pumped to a mixing tank, wherein the additional preservatives and additional spices, condiments are being mixed. Then from that is been pumped to heating system, wherein water or whatever is evaporated, the water is collected, and the concentrated items are being sent to the filling, packing, bottling, and vacuum pan, wherein the heating is done. Then kettle, that is been done. Next slide, ma'am. This is again a similar one, wherein there is a clear distillation, that is mean evaporation. Evaporation system is included. Washing machine, sorting conveyor, elevator, chopper, screw. Then that goes to the hard brake. From there, that comes to the refiner. Then from the refiner, it comes to the tank. Then from the tank, it is sent to a evaporative system. There is a two-stage, four circulation evaporative system is included. Then from there, it goes to the pasteurization system, wherein it is being pasteurized. It means heat it immediately and cool it immediately. Then that goes for the aseptic packing system. So this is for a bigger processing industry, wherein what is it? Evaporative systems are included. Next slide, madam. Yes, these are all some tomato paste processing line. Though it is mentioned paste processing line, these most of the equipments are used in all the tomato processing industry. Elevators, then bubble washing, sorting machines, elevating, crushing, storage tanks, preheating, pulping, storage, concentration storage, then casing sterilization, aseptic filling, those kind of stuffs. So these are all the individual equipments, unit operation equipments available for the needs to be included in the tomato processing line. So thank you. Yes,
thank you very much, sir, for a detailed presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you just on your video, sir?
Madam?
Your video.
Yes, yeah, one minute. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. The first question is, what are the legal regulatory requirements for setting up a food processing unit?
So, madam, if it comes to a food processing, it is a varied food process of food products. For example, food means it can be a meat processing or chicken processing, or even the dairy processing also comes under, or a cereals processing like what is that, health mix and other things. So what kind of food product they want to process? Though this tomato processing comes under food processing, it is more specifically fruit and vegetable processing. So the norms vary between food processing and fruit and vegetable processing. So which one they want to concentrate? If the question is more specific, then a specific answers can be given.
Sir, you can tell for tomato processing.
Tomato processing, basically, madam, it is FSSAI, then FPO, Food Processing Act. So FSSAI is the main, what is the legal criteria?
Okay. Sir, one of our members is asking, what will be the best sourcing strategy for obtaining high quality tomatoes consistently. Will it be correct to grow them ourselves or collaborate with local farmers?
See, madam, there are varieties available to get a good quality this thing. So we must have a thorough knowledge on the raw material tomato. So they must procure from those farmers who is farming the specific varieties. So that way it can be enhanced the production volume because there are certain varieties have higher dissolved TDS content. So, for example, one tomato variety has 9% TDS, another will have 2% TDS. So, if we procure 2% TDS, then you will produce ultimately from 100 kilo, you will produce 2 kilograms only. But if procure what is a tomato having 9%, you will be producing 9 kilo of products using the same utilities like steam, power, manpower, everything. So sourcing of the raw material is important. If a good quality raw material is procured, sourced, then the profitability is really high.
Okay. I'll go on to the next question, sir. Are there any energy efficient technologies available for the food processing, for the processing units operations?
Yes, madam, there are available. That's what I told you. There are 4 circulation evaporation systems with low temperature and under vacuum. So these are all the systems are energy efficient, and the what is that production volume also will be higher, and you will be end up with a good quality product, because heating is the key criteria in the tomato processing industry or most of the fruit and vegetable processing industry, because heat denatures the quality of the product. So there are systems, energy efficient systems with low temperature operations. Those systems can be used. They are energy efficient again.
Okay. How can we ensure the quality and safety of the processed tomato products? Are there any specific food safety standards you need to adhere to?
Yes, ma'am. We need to adhere to a specific standards. The standards are set forth by BIS as well as FSSAI. The tomato processing industry must have a quality control laboratory wherein every batch of the raw material and every batch of the finished product will be tested for the various parameters. Then mainly the solids, and other than that is the contamination. So this being a food product, contamination is a key risk. So these risks can be eradicated by following a specific procedures during the processing itself. That's the reason the process station must be placed in a well-maintained area with all the CGMP guidelines and other things, so that any risk or any contamination of the product can be avoided. There are very good guidelines, GMP guidelines and FSSAI guidelines, and BIS has given the guidelines also.
Okay. How can we handle waste generated during processing? Are there opportunities for recycling or repurposing?
There is no possibility of recycling, but there are value-added products can be produced. For example, when we process tomato, the tomato skins are the waste. Tomato skins and tomato seeds are the waste material arising from the any tomato processing industry. The tomato skins are being taken, and that is being extracted for the lycopene, which is an anti-cancer medicine. That is one thing. Then those solids which have been come out from the processing industry are being added with the animal feed as a additives and as a fibrous components also. That is true. And the seeds, from the seeds, there are some oil can be extracted. Maybe the oil from the seeds may not be a very viable process, but the other two things like lycopene extraction from the skin and using the waste for the animal feed is a very good remunerative project.
Okay. Can you throw some lights on marketing strategies that we can employ to promote the products? Will it be good to focus on local market or expand regionally, nationally?
Ma'am, initially to start with locally, then then regionally, then next is what is it, exports. Nowadays we have lot of what is it, marketing channels. The marketing channels like online marketing channels are also available. So to start with, online marketing channel is the best one. Then we must give some importance to the labeling. See, normally the tomato-based products are used in all the fast food companies, fast food preparations. It doesn't. Sorry.
So you continue, sir.
Okay. So we must give some importance in the labeling, like some medicinal benefits. Though it is not a medicinal product, it has many beneficial medicinal properties. This tomato, anti-cancer. Then there are many aspects, because this is basically an antioxidant which scavenges the cancer producing cells and other things. So those kind of labeling must be adhered to. If that is some sort of claim related to the health benefits, then promotion will be little easy. So try to market it in a niche area, then you can catch up the market.
Okay. What quality control measures will be implemented at each stage of processing?
Madam, first is procurement. While procurement, you have to see the correct color and shape. There shouldn't be any what is that, rotten fruits that way. So while collection itself, you will be having a quality control during washing, and after washing you will be doing sorting. During sorting, again there is a quality control. Then depend upon the product you are going to produce, the quality control of the parameters varies. For example, when you produce tomato juice, the juice, the solids content in the juice is the primary criteria. You have to have some sort of quality control over there. Then once the juice comes out, pasteurization, filling and packing. The main criteria here is the filling and packing. You must give quality control, very good quality control aspects to the filling and packing system, pasteurization system also. So every stage will have what is it, quality control aspects. Apart from that, cleaning process, CIP we say. So when you are going for some sort of breakdown or some sort of maintenance in between for one day after a week, then all the equipments must be washed thoroughly, sterilized thoroughly using a CIP procedures. Then only the contamination of all those things can be avoided. The third thing is the usage of the equipments. You must use all stainless steel 316 equipments, all the contact parts, and pumps must have all stainless steel, and the gasket and the other materials. If you use some plastic, it must be conformed to the food grade. All those things needs to be attended to.
Okay. How can we maintain consistency in taste, texture, and color of the tomato products?
Madam, there are two things. Nowadays, the plants, most of the plants are automated. So if you program it, you will continuously get the consistent based product. Otherwise, if you are operating manually, you will have a standard operating procedures with all the procedures. What is the steam requirement? What is the time of stirring? What is the vacuum is to be given? All those SOPs should be in place, so that basically it is a CGMP guideline, so that the consistency of the product is maintained throughout the production.
Okay. How can we consider the pricing strategy for the products in relation to production cost and marketing competition?
Madam, it is better to keep the price a little less than or on par with the products which is available in the market. If you keep that, then you will have a sufficient margin for the products.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Dr. S. Prem Mathi Maran for the talk and for answering the question. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.